are your respective duties as a teacher? That's what makes up the word occupation. So you could be a daughter, a coach, a friend, a wife, a neighbor, and like this, like a mom, a mother has a lot of occupations. Can be a clown, somebody who cleans up, somebody a policeman in between children. So a mother has a lot of occupations. But when there are occupational performance issues, it means that a person or a child cannot engage in their meaningful occupations to the level or performance they would like. So there is a barrier to that occupational performance. What I do as an OT is to support people in increasing their performance and participation. That is exactly why I'm here right now, because I'm representing these children. As an OT, I facilitate, I adapt, I enable, and right now I am wearing my advocacy hat as an occupational therapist. And what I always tell the parents is, as an OT, I don't ask I ask what matters to you, not what's the matter with you. So that is a perspective that we always see. That's why when clients or our patients are referred to the clinic, even if I know that there are a lot of problems or deficits in a child, my main priority is asking the mother, what do you want to do first? Or what is our prioritized problem list? What is a priority to you? Because this kid could have emotional difficulties, but maybe for the mom, the priority is feeding. Or example, the child has sensory regulation difficulties, but for the mom, the priority is for the child to be able to sit in church and listen to mass, diba? So that's what OT is about. So as our field in OT, we manage school systems. The ones in arrows are what we will be focusing on today: school systems, developmental disabilities, education, and sensory integration. But as an OT, we also dabble in mental health. That's why we had psych internship. We also do home and community health. We do work programs and also for adult patients. But right now, we're going to be focusing on this specific population. So let's put this as an example. Perhaps this is Jill. She is a teacher, she is a loving wife and a mother, and she is a friend to many. She enjoys homemaking. She likes to do errands because it's her stress relief. And like many Filipinos, she is a karaoke enthusiast. But she fell ill. She's not as efficient and capable as she used to. Occupations were affected, and this change has not only been heavy on her physical health but also her mental health. Perhaps this analogy is something that you can relate to, perhaps not. So what is my role? My role is to enhance. When we look at the child, we don't just look at where they are academically, but try to identify what are his specific barriers in the physical environment, what are his barriers in connection and communication, and we try to address it as much as possible because we look at it in a scientific perspective. OTs can equip these children with essential life skills, boost self-esteem, and enhance social integration, thus fostering overall independence and resilience. Research has consistently demonstrated the positive impact of OT on children with learning disabilities, with improvements noted in academic performance, self-regulation, and emotional being. These three being good foundations of being a positive learner. Self-regulation, emotional well. So who are the key players in the multidisciplinary team? There's a quote that's very powerful for me. It says, "It takes a village to raise a child, but it takes a child with autism to raise the consciousness of that village." So now, these are the key players. The parents, of course, the OT, a physical therapist, if need be, a speech and language therapist, SPED teachers, psychiatrists, teachers, and pediatricians, and of course, the child being at the center. So these are the main key players. But before we go further, let's identify and differentiate. What is the difference between an OT, a SPED, and the general education? One time, a parent came up to me and said that the school isn't able to accommodate the recommendations that we provided. And I asked why, and they said that they have difficulties implementing it. And she fought the school, and I mean not fought, but she put her foot down, and she OT, mo pa'y man iya activity, mo pa'y man iya participation ha OT, na likod hiya, na follow through hiya tiya ginihimo. Tapos nasiring an teacher kay diri man kami OT, ma'am sped man kami. But this was a difficult thing to hear for me because at the end of the day, it's not about being an occupational therapist or being even a sped teacher. It's about how we find ways to accommodate and connect with the kid. So before we go further, let's identify what is the difference between these three key professionals. So for me, I am the three of us, we are licensed under PRC. Mine is under the PSOT degree, and for teachers, for education. But for the training background, as an OT, we focus on health or rehabilitation. So it means that we really focus on the science of things. That's why in school, we have anatomy, we have physiology, we have general psychology, all these layers that make up a person. For a SPED teacher, education professionals with specialization in special education, and for general education, professionals with specialization in general education. My focus is functional participation. Is on sensory processing, executive function, fine and gross motor and regulation. For SPED teachers, academic and behavioral support. For general education, academic instruction, subject mastery, and of course, classroom management. My primary role is to help students develop skills needed for daily life. For SPED teachers, it provides individualized instruction for students with special needs, focusing on academic and functional goals. For general education is to deliver the standard curriculum to a class of diverse learners. In summary, OTs teach how students how to learn and participate. SPED teachers focuses on what and how to adapt, and general education focuses on what students need to learn according to the curriculum. Would you agree with this table? Yes. Okay, now this is an illustration. Don't bother me to learning about numbers.
So after that, it's your turn.
Yeah. Nine. So this is a way of adapting to the communication needs of a student, one of many. So now this is the important part. What are the foundations of learning? If you can relate to whatever it is on the screen, clap your hands, okay? These are struggles of a teacher in special education. He can't sit still. He's always moving around. He blurts out answers or interrupts constantly. Okay. She doesn't interact much with classmates, or she has difficulties interacting with her classmates. He forgets what we just practiced yesterday.